Hello and good evening. My name is Kenneth Williams, and I had the opportunity to observe a MD class, a multiple disabilities, which range from intellectual to developmental disabilities. I'd like to point at least three observations and speak a little bit on each, and then I'll share just some additional observations and some feedback that I had gotten from the teacher before I ended the day. So first, the number of teacher aides in class was one teacher and two aides that day to 7 students. Now, what the teacher told me was they typically have 10 students in that class, which would make teacher aide to student ratio about 3 students per teacher per aide. The ratio was a comfortable one because it allowed the teacher to stay focused on what she was teaching, what she was doing, and allowed the aides to float around the room to address any concerns that may have came up, to mitigate any issues that would be distracting. The one thing that there were 2 things that I observed about the teacher in her interaction with the students was one I disagree with, and the second one was encouraging. The first one was the female student I observed came into class late. The teacher did not like it, so she scolded publicly this student in front of the aides, in front of the other students, and in front of me. Again, disagreed with, just what I observed. No corrections were made. 2, the encouraging part of this was as the students left the room, she took that as an opportunity to do one-on-one time with the student, find out what the issues were, find out what the concerns were, and she used some of the techniques that we learned in this program. She got down to the student's level, sat on the floor, student on the chair, asked open-ended questions, engaging, eye contact, all the things that we learned. So again, while there was part that was discouraging, there was a portion of that observation that was extremely encouraging. So the second is my next topic of observation was how normal the students appear. When you first get in there, you see some of these students and you think to yourself, they don't belong here. But as I continue to observe this female who looked like a 7th grader in a 6th to 8th grade building, was clearly more of a 3rd, 4th grade demeanor. Again, while she was grasping some of the material, her attention was one that my 6-year-old would try to grab, his mom's attention or my attention. That's kind of how she interacted. So it was clear that this was a opportunity for her to grow into a functional person with the help and support of teachers and aides. My final observation was one of play. The students had the opportunity to just escape the room for a little bit, go out, and it was just a ball. They were just kicking a ball around, throwing a ball around, but they looked rejuvenated. It was in a controlled environment. It was a tennis court with one entrance, so the teachers and aides were able to just keep their focus on the students and not disengage them. When they came back into the class to finish up the day, again, refocused, rejuvenated. So again, something I observed and thoroughly enjoyed seeing. I just wanted to end with a few additional observations and some feedback that I was provided. One, I was able to see that even though the school district was a low budget school district, they were able to provide the class with assistive technology and a smart board. It allowed the teacher to engage the class, students engage the smart board, and it worked for all parties. So that's what I noticed. And then by the window, a sitting area, game area. So before the day ended, the kids were released and able to have some free time. So they sat by the window, able to look out, play games, and just kind of reset their minds. Real quick, I asked the teacher, how the parents engage, and she said little to none. They're either resent what's going on and how these kids are being treated positively, or they're approaching with rose-colored glasses that their child does not have a disability. So on my way out, I noticed that there was a saying on the board, which is encouraging. I wanted to share with you guys: be kind and loving to everyone. So before I left, I wanted to let the teacher know that what I observed was extremely encouraging. No matter what's going on outside her 4 walls, she should be thoroughly pleased and excited to see the growth of these kids. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your feedback.